This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in today's session, we are going to see how exactly we are going to create the workspace and what exactly is the workspace in Tosca. Okay, so basically we can say that workspace is the environment in which we are going to create, design, and run our test cases. Okay, so basically to write a test case, what exactly is the test case? Test case means some type of scripting, or we can say, so here we can say test case. What exactly is test case? So it means you can or design or create the activity which you expect to be done by the application. Okay, so for an example, for just an understanding, here I have this particular application where I want to register myself, right? So this is what I'm expecting the Tosca application to do on behalf of me as an automation. So here, to do the registration process, I am going to create a test case. In that test case, I'm going to provide the details which will help me to register myself. Okay, so that's what we say test case creation means, to design or create any activity which you expect to be done by the Tosca application. Okay, now how exactly Tosca application can do that? So coming forward, Tosca. Okay, so now here, how exactly Tosca application will do the activities? So the very first step is the Tosca application. What it will do is it has basically 3 steps. Okay, so now in these 3 steps, the very first step is to create a module. So the very first step is module. Okay, creation of module. Then in the second step, what we are going to do is we are going to use this particular module. Okay, module is used to create test case. Okay, the test case exactly which we want to do the activity that we are going to create. So that will be created with the help of the modules. Then the third thing which we are going to do is execute the created test case. Okay, so basically these are the 3 steps which we are going to follow when we are going to do the automation. Okay, clear till here? And am I audible?
Yeah, you
Yes,
are.
audible.
Yeah, Shikar, you're audible.
Okay, great. Okay, so clear till here, right? That this 3 will be the process, and each process we are going to look in depth and we are going to make a practice of it. And definitely I will be providing you with the assignments, so that will give you more clarity when you practice. Okay. Now, to create that test case, we have to create a workspace, right? This is the workspace we were talking about. Now, here we have two types of workspaces. The first one is the single user workspace, and the second one is multi-user workspace. Now, what happens in single user workspace and what exactly is there in multi-user workspace, that we are going to discuss now. So here, the single user workspace is something which we generally doesn't use anywhere, but for the practice, for the start, we will be using single user workspace. And this particular workspace, multi-user workspace, is something which helps a team to work together in the particular project. Okay. So here in multi-user workspace, what will happen that you, for example, you are having a team of 5 members. Okay. All the 5 members will be having access to the same workspace, and you will be working on the same project, and each part of the project will be divided amongst you. Okay. So in that case, we will be using multi-user workspace. Okay. And for single user workspace, we don't have much difference between these two. It's just that here we need to use the check-in, check-out, these three different options. And here in single user workspace, we don't have those options. So that's the main difference. Otherwise, the working and the flow, everything will be same. Okay. So firstly, we will be working in the single user workspace only, and then we will switch to multi-user workspace. Okay. And these
I have a
types,
quick doubt.
yeah, sure.
So the single user workspace, right? If you create that, other team members cannot see that particular test case or module which we created, right?
Right.
Okay,
So
got
that's
it.
what this particular single user workspace we generally don't use in practical life, but for the learning, for the start, we will be working on this. And then I will be definitely teaching you how you can work in the multi-user workspace also. Okay. Now, the
So see,
next thing is, yeah,
one more
sorry,
thing, like
Anita.
the access we are getting, right? So are we able to access both single, multiple, or single
Yes.
only in the demo?
Yeah, I will be providing you the access to both
Okay.
single and multiple. Yeah. And we can do one more thing. So here, what we will do, like I will just have a half an hour briefing. After that, I will open the session for you people. You have any kind of doubts, please note it down, and then we can uh, answer them. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. So now that was all about the workspace and test cases. Now, moving forward, we will see how exactly Tosca architect works. Now, what exactly is this architect of Tosca? So basically, many people say it components of the Tosca or the architect of the Tosca. So to use this particular application, as I said, we have to go with these three steps, that is module, test case, and execution, right? The same way it has its architect. Architect means a built up, which will help us to execute the test cases. So here we have the first one, that is Tosca test repository, Tosca Commander, Tosca Scan Wizard, Tosca Executor, and the Tosca License Server. So basically, what we are going to check that how exactly we can create the repository. The Tosca Commander is the main screen which we are going to use when we are doing the execution, creation, and designing. Xcan is something which will be used in the module section. And Tosca Executor is a screen which will appear when we will be executing any test cases. And this particular Tosca license server is something which we can just see when we are having on-premise license. Okay, so these five are very important from the point of view of the interview. So make a note of it that Tosca Architect or Tosca Commander is nothing but the same. That is Tosca Test Repository, Tosca Commander, Tosca Scan Wizard, Tosca Executor, and Tosca License Server. One by one, I will be showing you how exactly we are going to work on them. Okay? Clear till here? Any doubts? Now, if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask.
So if you don't mind, can you explain about each of these once again?
Sure. So basically, Tosca repository is the first architect which we are going to use while creating the workspace. Okay. So when we will be doing the installation and doing forward, we will be creating workspace. So in that we will be using test repository. Okay. Then the second one is Tosca Commander, which is the main screen of the application of the Tosca. So here, if you will see, this particular screen is the Tosca Commander. Here, if you can see this Tosca Commander. Inside Tosca Commander, we have module, test case, test planning, and multiple tabs to work on. Okay, so this page is the Tosca Commander. Now, here when I'm going to create any kind of module, for example, when I am trying to create a module, it will create, if you can see, it is showing starting xcan. So this particular page is nothing but the Tosca scan wizard. Okay, third one. So from here we will be selecting the application we want to automate. Then comes the Tosca executor. So when we will be running a test case from this particular screen, that backend screen is the Tosca executor. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay then. So moving forward, we are going to talk about defect management. That was a basics about Tosca, how exactly we have different options in Tosca, what action does which thing. Now let's talk about defect. So, so again, this is an important question from the point of view of interview. Now, what exactly is defect? We can say that so any bug or fault in the application is called defect. Now, what happens that when we are testing, the main motive of a tester is to find the defects, right? Tester main objective is to find defects, right? I can hear some noise. Can you please mute? Thank you. Okay, so the main objective of a tester is to find the defect. Now, the important thing is after finding this defect, how you convey that defect or that bug to your senior or to the developers, right? So important is reporting, right? Because without reporting, we cannot see any kind of improvement or any kind of actions towards this defect, right? So in that case, we have a proper life cycle. Okay. So here comes defect management life cycle. Okay, so in defect management life cycle, the very first point is new. What exactly is new? So here we will come across the defect. Okay, what exactly is the defect that we are going to find? After finding this defect, what we are
Hello,
going to do?
hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, ma'am, sorry, I missed yesterday's session. So I basically work on UFT. I just wanted to understand this tool, which is a test management for this, like how we run it. Is it like ran standalone? Because defect and all, it's like generally via ALM we raise the defects and all. So how is it
right.
here? Like,
Okay, so with Tosca, no problem. I will discuss that point. After this life cycle, we are going to see how exactly we can report the defects.
okay. And it is
Okay?
integrated with what? This tool, like how we are running it?
Yeah.
Is it like
Yeah.
standalone application or via ALM or
So,
how is it?
so ALM is basically cloud ALM for SAP works with the other tool that is Tricetis Test Automation TTA. Okay. And for this particular tool, Tosca, we can integrate it with either Jira, Bugzilla, all these different defect management tool we can use with Tosca. Either we can integrate also and standalone also we can update it separately, depending upon the organization how they opt to use.
So SAP based project, how they are using it, like how they are running their
So
test cases? Yeah.
SAP based project, what exactly they are doing is they are running it in the Tosca. Okay. After
Okay.
that, whatever bugs or defects they are finding, they are updating it in the Jira too.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
if it is integrated, it will be ran through Jira itself. But if it is a non-integration part, then what will happen? We have to manually update it to Jira and then we are going to assign it to the developers and all.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the first part which comes into the defect management life cycle is new. We have to look for the defect. So for that we have to do a thorough testing of the application. Then once we have the defect, what we are going to do, we are going to use assigned. Okay. Now here we are going to assign to the developer for the analysis that what exactly is the defect, why this kind of defect is coming. So we have to assign to developer. Okay. Then the third step which comes is open. Now developer will start working on this defect, right? Then comes fixed. Now once the developer has started working on this defect, what he will try to do, he will try to fix the defect, right? Again, this will be done by the developer only. Now, after fixing it, it will be again sent to the testing team. So, then what we are going to do, we are going to do the retest. Okay, this retest will be done by the tester to confirm that defect is no more, right? After the retest is done, we will be doing verification, right? So once the defect has been cleared, we are going to do the retest. After retest, we are going to update that, yeah, it is not having that same defect anymore. It has been resolved. So we can say resolved. Okay. Then after that, we are going to close that. defect which has been. So after this, we are going to close. That is the final step where we will say no defect is there. Okay. And if again we find any kind of defect or something, then again the process will start. We will reopen the application. We will again ask the developer to work on it. So here after close, we will be doing reopen. If in case that defect still exists then. Okay. After fixing also if the issue persists, right? So we can say fix uh, after fix if issue persists. Then we will reopen. After that, we have the last step that is deferred, or we can say rejected. Now, what exactly is deferred and rejected? If the defect is postponed or deemed to be not valid, then we are going to reject it. For example, if that defect is not a defect from the point of view of the developer, then it will be going into the rejection. Okay. So this is what the defect management life cycle looks like. Now, here in this case, the tester roles comes for just these three roles. That is retest, verification, and close. These three parts will be done by a tester. Rest of the things will be taken care by the developer or the management team. Okay. So please make a note of it. Note of it. If anyone's asked you that what exactly is the defect life cycle, then we can say that first is new, assigned, open, fix, retest, verification, closed, and reopened. We can ignore the last one, deferred or rejected. So this will be the life cycle of defect management. Now we have different tools for defect management. Okay. So, tools for defect management. Now, here in this tool, we have Jira, Bugzilla, then we have Qtest. So, these are the different tools we have. Now, we can, depending upon the organization, if they are providing it uh, linked with the Tosca application, integrated with the Tosca application, then we will be running and doing all the stuffs from these tools. But if it is not linked, what we are supposed to do after doing the execution in the Tosca application, we are supposed to update that particular defect or that reporting we are supposed to do in these tools manually. Okay, which will be again assigned to the seniors or to the one who we are reporting. So this all setup will be provided by the Tosca architect to us. So that's not something which we have to set up. But yeah, we should be aware that if we have any kind of defect, then we can say that we are interviewers many times ask this question that what if you find any defect? How you are going to report that? So first you will say that if we are having any kind of defect in the application, we are going to update that in the Jira tool. We are going to assign that story to the senior, and after that they will be taking care of it. And for example, we have a person named A. He is assigned to do a task. Okay, a person A is assigned to do a task. What he will do after he has completed that task, he will update completed. So even this process will be done in these tools only. So that will show that how much portion of the project has been completed. How much portion of the project have been completed. That will be tracked by using these management tools. Okay, clear? So in interview, we can say that we have not used it with integration. We have used with Jira. And those who have the company ID, I will suggest you one course where you can just have a good knowledge about how we can use the Jira with Tosca, that you can do the self-learning. I will provide you with the platform. Okay.
Shrital, basically, what kind of defect they report, like SAP functional issues, or is it like something related to tool and all? That should not be the case,
Uh,
right? Like,
Yeah, actually, we don't come across the functional issues. Sorry, we come across the functional issues, not the application issues.
Yeah.
Because many of the times, what kind of issues which get as a tester, if we are not having the functional knowledge, then that PO creation, any kind of numbering, or any missing point, those are the general defects which we come across in
okay,
SAP.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any doubts we can discuss?
And test cases will be like your plain end-to-end scenario. Like you'll get a manual test case and you will start creating
Yes.
like modules and all for that, right?
So we don't need to write the test cases exactly. Okay. So just for your reference, so here we have a small test case where we are just doing a registration. Okay. So here we will be creating the whole module, and after that we will be providing the details that which gender we want to select, its name, what is the mail ID, and all these process we are going to do. So always a best practice is whichever application you want to automate, it is always suggested that first thoroughly, manually try to execute the same process 2 times so that you are clear with the steps. Because here we are not going to do any kind of writing work, that creating a test case and making a frame that how exactly it will flow, that all things we are not going to do. What we are directly going to do is the creation of the test cases, right? So that's why for best practice, it is always suggested that manually you uh, work on that application 1, 2 times so that you get a clear picture of what will be the next step which you are supposed to focus on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other doubts? So if we don't have any doubts, then
Uh,
uh,
yeah, hi. Yeah, hi. My name is Digambar. And
yeah, hi.
small doubt. Yeah, may I know like how many sessions are there for SAP testing? And will you provide all
Sorry,
the configurations? How many sessions will be for SAP testing?
self-testing.
SAP.
Okay, SAP testing. So basically,
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
going to have 2 sessions, and after that, we will be assigning you some assignments which you are going to perform it for your practice end-to-end scenarios, which will give you a better clarity. Because whether if it is a SAP or it is a web, the things are not going to be different. Okay, the process and everything will be the same. It's just the format or the screen which will differ, right? So, no
Okay.
worries. When, yeah, sorry.
No, no, yes, please continue.
So even if you are working, like if you have the access to the system, if you have already SAP with you, even when I am teaching you the concepts in web also, you can practice it on your own. Main is the concept. If you have concept clarity, you can work on any screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other
So
doubts?
tool installation, configuration, all those things you will show
Yeah,
us,
that
right? How?
yes, yes, that I will help you to set up the same in your systems.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay, then it looks good. So tomorrow let's connect again, and tomorrow we will be looking in depth at how exactly Tosca architect work and how exactly we can use different architect to create the test cases and the proper scripting. Okay, thank you so